And welcome back to our second episode of Croak and Crow, where we talk about religious topics in
I just thought of something.
Open-minded
Listen
way.
to this. You just said, welcome back to our second episode of Croak and Crow. I'm Spencer. I am Vo. It rhymes.
Why do you like the songs? Like
I just like it.
No.
Croak and Crow, Spencer and Vo.
Yeah, maybe if you had like a title sequence.
Well, we could work on it.
No, if you had a title
When
sequence.
are we going to say our names?
Whenever you want. You can start, but
I like when you say, well, Croak and Crow, and then you would say, I want you to say first. I'm
welcome
Spencer.
Back to Croak and Crow. I'm Spencer.
And I'm Vo. I'm going to do it in sign language.
And now what is that like?
Then you roll into it.
All right, let's get into a topic.
Animals.
Animals. What about animals?
Well, for starters, there's animals in our title name, isn't there?
There is. Why did you pick animals for our title name?
Well, I picked it more for the vocalizations that an animal makes.
What noise does a crow make?
Well, crow is a noun, but it's also the verb of crowing. And they're just two vocalizations, but they're two, yeah. A crow is a crow, obviously a croak isn't a croak, but they're both things where you're vocalizing, which is what we're doing. And then I thought to myself, wait, to crow is usually bad connotation, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're bragging. It doesn't always have to mean that. But I had already settled on this name, right? Croak and Crow, and I liked it regardless. It's just, I was divinely inspired. Mm. So what can you do when that happens? Divine inspiration comes from the divine. But today I read one of the Psalms, believe it was David, and it said...
All of the Psalms are David.
Are they?
David wrote the Psalms.
Okay, now that's a good thing to know about.
Yeah, David wrote the Psalms.
Because sometimes I don't see his name at the top of the title. Like, it'll say something else.
Message to choir master? No,
it'll say like, I don't know. But anyway, it was, I know this one was David. Anyway, he said that, I'm pretty sure he said brag. Like, he brags about the Lord. Mm-hmm. Right? So I was like, oh, brag equals crow. So crow and brag don't necessarily have to be bad words. Which brings me to something else that I wanted to clarify from yesterday, which was, yesterday I said that we're not interested in words, exact words, but I really wanted to clarify that we very much are into the word.
Yes.
But not of English word,
yes.
Hebraic, Aramaic. Yes. Oh, this means this means that. No. But the word is not.
Yes. The words together to, make bigger ideas. Mm-hmm. It's the ideas behind the words, not so much the words themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we can never do away with the word, but you can do away with the words.
Whoa, write that one down. I took a class in Bernathen it was just about the Bible, but one of the topics we had was, are there evil animals and are there good animals? Is a snake an evil animal, and was it put here as an evil purpose, and were dogs put here for a good thing, or are they all just animals? Your thoughts?
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me.
I don't have the answer. I failed the class.
God. Okay, so all the animals are good.
All the animals are good?
All of them.
Alligators?
Alligators are
Snakes?
good. Hippopotamuses, which is the most dangerous animal in the world.
I thought mosquitoes were.
That's a bug. But all animals are good. And
a snake is good?
Yeah, snake's good. The whole story about St. Patrick in Ireland getting rid of the snakes is not...
How about Adam and Eve?
Adam and Eve.
Ever heard of that story?
It's called symbolism.
And what did the snake symbolize?
Evil.
Interesting.
But all of the imagery...
Why didn't they make it a little fluffy bunny?
Because of the imagery of the people. And that's how the people would associate something, not so much I'm scared of a snake or I couldn't have a pet snake. What if you had the best, beautifulest pet snake, the most wonderful friend? But the fact that he can slither, even slither I think is a negative word, but the fact that he can move stealthily, he doesn't make noise, he doesn't have footsteps, and he's so small, he can slide into something without being detected.
Like a baby's cradle.
Yeah. So it would be great imagery about evil, or evil's a hard word too, but it's used to show that evil doesn't come stomping down the road like a horse. A horse could have told her to eat the apple. Horses eat apples. You know what I mean? Snakes don't. Horse could have been like, I had it. It was like super fantastic.
Yeah. But
it was a snake because it would always show, watch out for the snake. Not meaning watch out for all snakes. Watch out that, you saw a snake, that's evil. It's just saying the stealthiness of things that can creep. A snake doesn't even creep, right? It just silently appears and disappears.
I'm going to disagree. I think snakes are evil.
You think snakes are evil?
I think they're heartless and they can't show any compassion. A lot of animals can show compassion, Like, for example, a mama bear. Mama bears eat people. They love their cubs. They look at them and help them up a mountain. Snakes don't care. You could murder a snake's mom right in front of it. It wouldn't care. So the things that I think are evil, I'll let you know right now.
Okay. Bears
are good. Mammals.
Bears have been known to eat their babies.
Because they were probably very hungry.
But still, it can be done.
Okay.
So all animals...
Well, a human can eat babies. Are humans evil?
All animals can go into the animal category of possibility of eating their babies.
But you can see these heartfelt videos of like a bear protecting its baby. Have you ever seen a snake protect anything? Have you ever seen an alligator protect a baby alligator? A shark protect a baby shark?
No, I haven't really seen any of them in any capacity.
You've never seen, I just saw a thing about a giraffe mom, and the lions were eating the baby giraffe, and the giraffe mom got all angry and was storming them and saying, "Get away, get away.
Get away."
Get away.
It was a Scottish giraffe.
Yeah.
Get away.
It was at a zoo. They shouldn't have been together, those animals.
Yeah, right. I'm going to stick with all animals are good. All animals are created by God.
It's easy to say when you're in a room by yourself. If you put me out there, if I brought 3 snakes and 3, koala bears in here, and I said
koala bears are evil. Koala bears will rip your face off.
No, they wouldn't. Yes,
they would.
How would it rip your face off?
With its claws and its teeth.
It's this big.
No, it's not
small.
True. If they can cling onto a tree in a typhoon.
They can't, obviously. Didn't they all just die?
Well, they died from fire. And I don't think there's typhoons in Australia, but all animals are animalistic and are dangerous, and I don't want to be in a room with any of them.
Any animals?
I don't want to be in a room with any animal.
Puppies.
Puppies bite.
Not hard.
Well, I don't want to be there with a strange animal, so I'm not going to pick a puppy over a snake over a bat.
Yes, you would. You absolutely would. I'm sure there's an order. So
only because what I've been conditioned.
I don't know. If I showed you 2 animals you've never seen before, and one was small and fluffy, and the other was reptilian,
because I've been conditioned. If I was born on a desert island and somehow I was kept alive with food and water and I don't know what, mental health, and I had different animals coming to me without ever growing up seeing the Blessed Mother stepping on a snake, my most favorite statue where her hands are not flat, but they are curved. She's stepping on a snake there. If I was never brought up for every single imagery that you have ever seen, probably the snake has been bad, right?
Yes.
If you had never, ever, ever been exposed to that, and you lived on a desert island, and you had a snake that came in, he softly swiggled up to you every day, and you'd be like, "Hey, snake," and he swiggled away. Would you have that same terrible association to the snake.
I think so.
That you have right now.
I think we are biologically afraid of things because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't have arms or legs. It's like it's like spider has too many legs. Snake doesn't have enough.
Do you hate fish?
I've never gone like toe to toe with one in the wild.
Fish can bite. They have no arms or legs.
Yeah, I'd be afraid of it. Like no.
I think even a fish is worse because you can't get their eyes are on each side of their head.
No, yeah, what about like those eels? Have an eel coming at you, especially in water where you're already at a disadvantage.
Yeah, I wouldn't like it. Okay.
I think all animals are evil.
They're not evil. They're just not us.
So things that aren't like me aren't evil?
Well, it's not that they're right. Things that aren't like you are not evil, but we are.
They're different from us, which means they can't be trusted. We must sound the drums of war.
Pocahontas reference, don't forget. Anyway, so animals are in the Bible.
A lot of them.
A lot of animals are in the Bible. Some animals aren't in the Bible.
Like what?
Probably a giraffe.
Yeah, probably a giraffe.
Okay, so...
Well, I mean, technically every animal is in the Bible. Because, not by word, but when Noah... put 2 of every kind of animal on his.
Well, even before that, probably in creation, when he said,
"Yeah, imagine that task when he had Adam name all the animals." Didn't he tell him that?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a lot of animals to name.
That is. We can't even figure out the intro to our podcast.
I guess it's easy though when you just have a blank slate. You were just making sounds, and
none of them are what we have today.
You're telling me Adam didn't speak American English?
And call it an alligator? No. There's a lot of animals in the Bible. There's a lot of talk of sacrificing animals.
Yeah.
A lot of that. A lot of comparisons to animals. Then you have the whole unclean animals. But you don't hear that Jesus had a trusty dog friend.
The sheep.
Oh, is it the sheep?
You didn't have any sheep in the Bible.
There's no sheep in the Bible?
No, like he wasn't an actual shepherd.
He was supposed to be a carpenter.
Yeah, I was hearing that like scientists said that he actually might have done like metal. No, what was it? Like masonry.
Really?
Yeah, they said there wouldn't have been that many trees in Jerusalem or Nazareth or wherever the heck he's from. But yeah, they said that like. They found out that there was a good chance he was actually a Mason instead.
Mason probably put that out there.
I think it was, yeah.
I was thinking about Jesus' age.
33.
And not to go off topic, but I was thinking, I wonder if that's a little shout out to when you're an adult.
33?
Yeah. Like.
Wouldn't it be more of a shout out of when you should die?
No. Because
he's finished his life.
Yeah, he wasn't a child anymore. You know what I mean? So like he wasn't going to live a full life to be, 90 years old.
Wouldn't that be when he went out on his quest? Like once he met with John the Baptist?
Well, how long was he walking around?
Not that long.
So like 30?
Yeah.
The same. That's what I'm still saying. I'm wondering.
Yeah, isn't that old back then?
Yeah, I was wondering if that was a little message of like Jesus was allowed to be a human and do human things. If you're saying
he probably lived at home.
If he's a Mason,
yeah,
he lived
he's
at
probably
home.
A freeloader up until then.
No, you can't say that.
Just working with his dad on weekends.
Can't say that. No, I'm saying for you would probably be interested in that number.
Thanks.
No, I'm saying what's an adult?
Yeah.
Is it 18? Is it 21? Is it, a lot of people are saying like, oh, our parents were adults at this age and now we're not. And I would just like to clear that up a little bit because now you're 24. And when I was 24, yeah, I was married, about to have 4 kids in 4 years. And so people have said that to me and said, oh, when you were my age, you were so much when I was your age, I was exactly you.
Just with more responsibility.
So, well, really, what is an adult? You could go scientifically, like when the brain stopped growing or when teeth are stuck.
Well, yeah, I think like what are you? So it depends on what you're asking. When you're physically, your body's an adult. I think 25 is what they've sort of came across as the brain is fully done developing. If you're saying that as you are independent fully, that's where it sort of gets muddied up, because some people leave home at 18, and even though their body isn't even fully done growing, they're fully independent. So I think that just all depends on but I think it is up for interpretation, or it is up for there is multiple answers for it. So I don't think one person can tell. I don't think a 25-year-old can tell an 18-year-old who is in the army and is living on their own that they're not an adult. But that 18-year-old also can't tell a 26-year-old who's living at home that they're not an adult. It's like, I don't think it's for other people to determine.
I think we went off track, but I'll just finish this with this and say I don't think anyone is ever an adult. It's a made up word. It's So is a child a made up word? No.
So when do you stop being a child?
Never. Thank you. You walked right into that. Thank you.
Darn it.
Okay? And it's what Jesus said. Be as little children. And if you're not like little children, you can't get into heaven. And people are little children their whole life, whether they like it or not. But they deny it. They ignore it. They pretend they're not. They're like, oh, I do this, this, and this, and that makes me a big person. That makes me an adult. But a 90-year-old is as much as a child as a 9-year-old. And
yeah, I guess that's true. Because, what's the difference of a child and an adult? The idea is a child depends on, things and learning, and they're not ready to be a fully formed human. But the idea is that we are on Earth to learn and to become, closer to God, and then, that is what life is essentially, then you don't hit a point. When you are an adult, it will be, when you go to heaven. And it's like, that's when,
right,
like, all of your time on Earth should be as a child.
Right.
Growing, learning.
And if you attach the physical deterioration of this shell, this human earthling body, if you attach that to your spirit and you say, well, oh, I must be 80 years old now, I'm an old spirit, that's the confusion. So the body is deteriorating, the body is aging, the body can't go past 100 plus.
Moses did.
Yeah, but he had hope. So anyway, so I've thought of that before, that we're all children, and everything else is really, that is not true. Like when people say, I'm more an adult of you, or you're less of an adult, or you should act like an adult, or you're an adult now.
Yeah.
It's going to be in legal terms, obviously.
Well, yeah, but also if you look at other cultures, I mean, like I know some Asian cultures, like the family always stays together. So like if your definition of an adult is moving out and living on your own and finding your own career, someone like that isn't even the case for some cultures. So are they not adults? Or like some of these Asian cultures who live with their family all their life and they work for their family, are they not adults? They never moved out and they just didn't find their own career path. They just followed that. So in your definition, or is it all different? Is it societal? Yeah. It's all fake. Everything's fake. We live in a society.
Well, yeah, because of course it's all fake. If everyone would not be upset by that term and be comforted, of course this is fake, because the real is heaven. The real is where we were before here and where we're going after here. That's the real. So of course this is fake. So if you point out certain things and say, that's fake, yeah, you're right, but guess what? So is everything else. But
yeah, it's all artificial. We all made it up. We made up the rules.
Right.
Rules.
But you just play here until... I just saw that about animals... Bring it back, girl. Bring it back.
Full circle.
That they're wrong about saying that dogs are plus 7 years. You know how they say 1 year, 1 human year is 7 dog years. They're saying, we were wrong about that.
What is it?
I can't tell you that I read the whole article, so I'm not sure, but I was agreeing because like that's always sounded a little bit nuts to me. And we have 2 dogs that are 2. They're extremely puppies.
Yeah.
But you're telling me they're going into teenage years now. It's just.
I think what it is like, like other languages, you think that, oh, what's the word for this? And then you get a word. And people think you're translating apples for apples, but they're like, that's when you learn like, oh, this is a Spanish word, but there's not an English word for it. And then they give you like a sentence of what it means. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, wow, we don't have a word for that. I think it's the same thing. Like, we try to compare everything to what we know. So, like, our years, but, 2 different types of animals' lives aren't even comparable.
Right.
So you can do the most general thing, which is, well, dogs live like a seventh of what we live. So technically, if they were to live till 90, 1 year would be 7, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, it doesn't go by, like, a 4-year-old dog, it doesn't equate to a 24-year-old person on mental or physical. Did I do that right? No, 28.
Well, I'm not good with numbers, but
that's bad math.
I had the thought of doing animals because I told
doing
you.
Animals? That's against the Bible.
Cut.
No, I'm not cutting that.
Cut.
It says that, I think it's in Leviticus, and it's like, no man shall lie with an animal.
Cut.
For that is a blasphemous sin.
Okay.
So let's talk about it. Bestiality, now that you brought it up.
All right. I think that it is wrong.
I say it's wrong. Do you disagree?
I think it's going to be hard to be...
Love is love?
No. I think it's wrong.
I think it's wrong.
I think it's wrong. I'm not going to sway on that one, okay? I think it's wrong. That's a whole other thing. Like mental illness and so forth. Animals can't give consent.
No, they cannot.
So I was thinking of using the theme to be animals.
Animals.
Today.
Okay.
Because of deer feet. That a few times in the Bible it's saying to have deer feet or something. But since we're not allowed to look stuff up, I can't look that up. But
just bring an iPad on.
Yeah, I'll do that. But also, the shepherd. Everyone knows the Lord is my shepherd. 23rd Psalm, but it's referenced so many other places that the Lord is our shepherd and we are sheep.
Sheeple.
But yet, in this day and age, sheep is an insult.
It is.
So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Like, I want to be a wolf. I don't want a shepherd.
Yeah. But
once, I think it's just you don't want to look into it too deep.
Right.
I think what it means, sort of, is sheep don't attack each other, at least they shouldn't. We're all generally trying to do the same thing. One of us might go astray, and it's up to God to reel it back in.
Yeah.
Think.
And it's all about relaxing. Okay?
Yeah, just do the least.
No, it's true. People think you have to do the most.
Just do the least. I agree.
You have to relax.
I agree.
And if you think of it with the Lord as your shepherd and you're a sheep, you just relax and you don't worry if there is a wolf coming.
I think a lot of people would be happier as if they weren't so wound up.
You have to relax. You have to go slow.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not about going fast. It's not about being loud. It's not about doing the most. It's really not.
If you think about it, I have a little bit of an analogy. Just like sheep, so we're all sheep, and we are being herded towards a greater good, with God and stuff as our shepherd. But when when a sheep goes astray, he goes running off with the foxes. All you gotta do is just continue on as your sheep,
right? And
trust that the shepherd will go in. I feel like too many people, they see someone doing something that the shepherd doesn't want, and then they go run over and start screaming at the sheep and start biting his ankles and stuff.
Right.
And then that sheep gets mad at you, and then you start having a little sheep tussle.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. When the shepherd, God in this situation, comes over and sees the two sheep fighting, you know what he's going to do? He's going to grab a staff and bonk them both on the head.
Yeah.
So you know what? This is directly to everyone.
Okay.
Who thinks that
I'm speaking.
Speaking to you, Timothy. I'm speaking to people who, as Christians and stuff, think that they need to. It is part of their job to make sure everyone else is doing what they think is right. So, God told us all to paint red houses, I got from the scripture that we're all supposed to paint red houses. I see that person over there painting their house blue, and that pisses me off. So I need to go run over and start throwing red paint at their house because God would want me to do that. Guess what? You're gonna get bonked on the head because you're a sheep who's worried about that other sheep.
Right.
That other sheep, you know whose job it is for that other sheep to go the right path? It's God. It's not yours.
Right.
Listen to your shepherd. Get in line.
No, you're right.
You're gonna get a big old bonk on the head with that big swirly stick. Ooh, I should get one of those. The shepherds.
Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
Yeah, I want a rod and staff.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion over what is a rod and what is a staff and what they're both used for, because there's another part in the Bible that says spare the rod and spoil the child, and spankers take that to feel that they have to go ahead to hit their children.
Yeah.
But I disagree with that. Okay? So
you didn't disagree with it 10 years ago.
Cut that out. No, just kidding. Yeah, I disagree with that. So who knows what a rod or a staff is, but what's that? Words.
They're
just words. We hate words.
Wait, so how does the quote go?
Thy rod and thy staff.
No, the bad one.
Oh, spare the rod and spoil the child. And
so what do you see that as? Sort of overall just discipline, or
same way. So think of you did a lot of bonking the sheep in your you just talked about, but generally he just directs them. Yeah. Don't go that way. Come this way. We're leaving. We're staying. Yeah. Sit down.
It can't be like, well, that sheep wants to go over there. Yeah. So all right, all the other sheep, let's all sit down and wait for him. It's like, right. You go over and get that sheep.
Yeah, you go over and get the sheep.
You don't have to bonk him in the head, though.
No, you don't really have to. I think sheep are pretty agreeable.
Well, when they were getting bonked was when the other sheep was.
Oh, when they were interfering. Fighting. Yeah, you got those rogue sheep. Yeah. Yeah, and then there's another part of the gospel where someone says to Jesus, I forget, but Jesus ends up saying, doesn't when one of the sheep is missing, so he has 300 head of sheep. Yeah. The shepherd, one's missing. He has 299. I can do math.
There you go.
And Jesus says, well, you're going to go look for the sheep. You're going to go look for that one sheep. Even though you have 299, everyone is precious. You look for the sheep, you bring the sheep back, and now you're so happy you have 300 sheep again, and that's what you're in charge of. That's what you're going to keep. So, yes. I could take umbrage with the word rod in spare the rod and spoil the child, and I could take umbrage with the word spoil.
How about child?
Sure, why not?
Didn't we just say everyone's a child?
You're right. You're absolutely right. So people take it as I am owner of my children and I can beat them, but what if it's really God is owner of all of us, and that's why he directs us with his rod.
Spoil the child of God.
Right. He's trying to help us. And when we say, like, why is this happening to me? It's like, I'm helping you. I'm helping you. I think we just totally...
There you go. Yeah,
This is the purpose of this podcast.
Yeah,
to uncover
This
gems.
was all just the intro.
Yeah, to uncover, right?
Yeah.
So we don't really come, we talked about this yesterday, we don't come pre-plans with we've already practiced what we're going to say. It's going to fit in the time.
No, this is not a sermon.
We're like archaeologists.
Whoa. Discovering dino bones.
Which I don't like.
Yeah.
I love archaeologists, but
I
no, right? So we come and they listen to us figure it out.
Yeah, we're just offering a different thing. We're just thinking.
Maybe we won't figure it out every day.
Maybe we'll probably won't. We probably think we figured out a lot more than we actually figured out.
No, I think we did. And I think we just figured something out. Spare the rod and spoil the child does not mean for an adult.
An adult.
For an aged person.
Aged.
Because you could also have an adopted child, so you can't even say you had the child. So it does not mean an aged person should lay hands aggressively on a smaller person. It means that God is going to direct us as a shepherd would a sheep through life, and he's doing it to help us, not to control us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of just like a guiding you through life without, with the hope of you don't wander too far off the path.
Yeah. No, I'm still thinking that this is really the point of the podcasts. Not this one, but all of them.
So you should cut that down in 5 minutes.
That we'll talk through things to get to the heart of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The real heart. Also.
Well, what we think is the heart. Someone might.
For us.
Well, yeah, but that's what I think you need to caveat with that, because, like I said yesterday, one of my biggest problems was hearing other people explain to me, this is what this sentence means, and
to everyone.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing that I've learned from hearing a bunch of different people talk is it's all good. The more you can hear what other people think gives
you options. Yeah,
it gives you options of what relates most to you. But at the end of the day, you'll get out from verses in the Bible what it means for you. Yeah,
let's say that right now. Let's say that
we don't know anything.
We're on team. You choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
You choose the ending of your story. Like, we're definitely not on. This is what it means. So if someone,
we're anti-establishment.
Right.
Yeah. Down with the man.
So we don't want a fight now that someone says no, it means spanking.
Yes.
Right. And we also don't want. Those people told us not to spank.
Yeah.
It's what we.
Yeah.
Decided.
Come to your own conclusion. That's what we're doing. We're coming to our own conclusions.
Yeah.
We're not listening to someone else and saying, well, they told me this. And we're not then giving what we figure out and saying, now, to you, this is a fact.
Right.
We're just thinking.
We're just Christians who come to our own conclusion.
It's too many C's.
Croak and crow. Christians who come to their own conclusion. Yeah. I like it. There's something there.
I don't know.
7 C's. Is there 7 C's in that statement?
I'm not going to repeat it to find out.
The 7 C's of the world. Is there 7 C's?
7, the Atlantic? Wait, no, that's not a sea. It's an ocean. The Dead Sea?
No, the Atlantic. They're all seas.
No, I think there's
7 C's. Atlantic, Pacific, Indian.
The Red Sea. The Caribbean. The Mediterranean.
What are the 7 C's?
I thought that's what pirates said. I didn't think there was actually.
I thought there was. 7 C's include the Arctic. North Atlantic.
Okay.
South Atlantic.
What?
Yeah.
No.
North Pacific. South Pacific.
See, you know what?
Indian and Southern.
All that tells me is they only had, was it 3 C's or 5 C's?
What are the 7 Seas and 5 oceans?
And they just split 2 in half.
It says the origin's uncertain and it references ancient literature thousands of years.
Oh, see, so it is fake. They didn't know.
Christians that come to their own conclusion. Come on, Christians, come.
It's too many C's. Imagine trying to say that all.
I think it's
We're Croak and Crow, Christians who come to their own conclusions.
Yeah, I love it. Let's have them vote.
I don't know. I don't like the name drop or the
Christian part.
Yeah. Not that.
Don't you feel that you're denying the Lord?
No, but I feel like I'm denying,
or you're excluding.
I'm excluding an audience who, because my biggest thing is
we're inclusive, even though you excluded people who like snakes by saying that.
Yeah, if you like snakes, just turn the podcast off and don't listen to it.
Because I like snakes.
And guess what? You're probably not going to heaven. So hopefully you don't.
Stop it. He's joking. Cut that out.
Hopefully you don't like. All right. No, I am not against being Christian. I am a proud Christian.
Yeah, I'm not against being Christian.
I'm not against the word, but I am not a Christian who thinks that
Unfortunately, Christian now has a bad connotation to it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And I think that people who say, you need to believe in Jesus, I disagree with that. I think a lot of that in the scripture of like, follow me and you'll get to heaven is to live the way Jesus wanted you to.
Right.
And if you're a Muslim or an atheist or a Hindu, and you are charitable, you treat other people kindly, you do all that, you live a good life that is beneficial to others and yourself, even though you don't believe in Jesus.
Jesus believes in you.
Okay, that's a nice little bumper sticker, but no, even if you believe in Jesus, you are living the way he wanted you to without knowing it.
Right, right.
So you
again, words.
Yeah, so you followed him more than someone who says, Jesus is my Lord and Savior, but then, goes out and
of course
lies, cheats, and steals.
I've said that before about Americans, that, of course, if you're born in America, you're an American, right? But
nowadays, it's just a bunch of Americans. That's fine.
But there is I've said this before, there's American spirit. There's a
It's a cigarette.
Not the cigarette. There's a feeling of being an American that is just the word American, but you can be an American in the way I'm thinking of it. From any country. You can be an Ethiopian. You can be a Greek. You can be. It's that feeling of possibility, promise, entrepreneurship. What's this called? Like when you're all together, community. It's very American,
The American dream.
I always get mixed up about the American dream, but what I'm saying is,
I don't know if I follow. Like, are you saying generally, or like are you saying that the whole idea of the American dream doesn't need to be American, or are you saying that there actually is Ethiopians that have an American mentality?
Well, I don't mean American from the country of America. I'm just
saying...
So
that's what I'm saying. So,
yeah,
so you're saying
the word...
Where the wording's wrong is actually used in America.
Right.
In it. Rather than...
Because America, made up of all these different people, but they're all having that same goal. Yeah. They're all having that same, joy and happiness and helpfulness. So, it's not about the country, the land that you're sitting on, or who was here first, or who is a citizen. Mm-hmm. It's this spirit that brings them all together. But the word American, then people take ownership of the word American. He's not American. It's the same thing with Christian. Is what you just said, that you could be acting in a way, and you don't call yourself a Christian or anything, but you're acting what we call Christian. Yeah,
exactly. And I think that's how Jesus would say it. I think if Jesus came back now and he saw two people, because if you think about it, like, Jesus never really even invented Christianity. He went against, or he built on top of Judaism and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't this, now I give you Christianity. It was spread my word.
Right.
It was he had the Jewish faith, and he built upon it, and then he said, now spread the word that I've done.
Yeah, spread this word,
and my deeds,
which is my Father, which is God. And then we just say, well, it's Christianity. But really, Christ said, I'm telling you all this because this is what I want. I'm speaking for him.
Yeah.
And move on to another animal, which is obviously a bird. Is that an animal? Because you have the dove, which is so very important.
Peace.
So symbolic. And obviously in Noah's Ark, but continuing on and on as, like the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, well, I think that can go off of what you were saying earlier about snakes and where I was attacking them, and you were like, it was more about the symbolism of them. Yeah. I think there's a lot of symbolism in a bird of the freeness of flying and the just...
leaving Earth.
Yeah, the ascending and just not being bound to
Yeah, right.
earthly things like the ground, which
Right.
is as about earthly as it gets.
And you can escape
Mm-hmm.
the rising water. You can escape pretty much anything. Fire,
Yeah.
you know.
And so I think that's, I mean, even the Holy Spirit you often see as depicted as like a dove or just some kind of bird.
Right.
And it's just that idea of like a free spirit that's not confined.
Right.
In an earthly shell, even though it is on Earth.
Yeah, because in actuality, birds can be very evil. If you want to call natural instinct and animalism evil, but they attack each other.
They do.
They steal eggs. They hurt other animals.
Mm-hmm.
They got carnivore birds. You have ugly birds like
angry birds,
turkey vulture, turkey vulture. Yeah. So anything could be taken away from, because think of the medical sign. Doesn't that have snakes on it?
The medical sign does.
Yeah.
But I think that comes from, like, the Greeks?
I don't know, but, you know, you have to challenge your initial thought that snakes equal evil. If you see a snake.
Can you think any snake that reference is good?
Well, no, because that's...
I wonder why I like snakes so much.
No, we're all...
Take off the mask, we're lizard people.
No, I'm Slytherin. We just use language that's the only way we communicate. If everybody wasn't on the same page, it would be harder and harder and harder to use pictures to get our points across because we all speak different languages.
Yeah.
So, but we'll have to look that one up. I have so much to look up that we talk about. I still haven't looked
After
up.
the fact, you need like a interim show where
I know,
or just like on top, like you come in on a
well, you could pop
screen.
it in if you knew how to do that. Because like I told you about St. Francis, you could pop that in. Franciscan monks in general. Now we have to pop in the medical sign.
Yes.
All right, and I don't even want to say this next thing because it's like. It's very, what's the word?
We have 5 minutes left, so if it's going to be a long topic, maybe save it, but if it's not...
It was just going to say the animals go to heaven.
Oh.
Yeah.
And thanks a lot for showing up. We will see you tomorrow, bright and early.
Yeah, because you could just break a million hearts if you said the wrong thing there.
Yeah.
I will truthfully say that I think animals go to heaven.
I don't.
Okay. So.
I would like them to. Well, I mean, now we can have our last 5 minutes on this. Luckily, we both have different views, so everyone will be happy. I don't. I would like them to. I would like to know Luna is going to be with me in heaven, but
Luna's the cat.
Luna's my cat. I'm a pretty analytical guy, and just the sheer number of animals. Do they all go to heaven? Only if you love them do they go to heaven? If they didn't have an owner, are they just playing in heaven? And also, it kind of sucks, you know? Like, is being an animal that great? Like, I know my cat has a great life for a cat, right? Because she doesn't need to find her own food or, you know, fight to survive cold winters. She lives a great life for a cat, and so she looks at me for love and care because that's what she's been given, and she's like, this is a great life. But when you really think about it, does animals have a life that, like, she's like, oh, I'm in heaven now? What is she doing up there? Licking her paws and sleeping all day? Is she even more woke than that? Like, is she able to communicate with me? And if that's the case, if she is elevated to that case, why isn't she a human? Does she have, like, sort of human conscience? Well, that's scary. That means you're bottled up in an animal.
You don't know if, you said, is she a human? Like, but they just found out that dolphins' brains are bigger than ours, and they're more.
It's because they're aliens.
Yeah, they literally. I just read this, and again, we have no fact checking ability here.
I don't know where you're learning.
I know that scientists want to classify them as a non-human animal. No, all animals are non-human. It was something like, it was an upgrade. It was like, because of how they communicate with each other. Yeah,
animal.
how they work. Anyway, you don't know what a cat's going to look like, what he's doing in heaven, or what his life looks like, or if he has any more powers or anything. But you also don't know what happens with a human in heaven. So, and you also, you're trying to use your human mind, your small human mind, to comprehend what heaven's like. And you said the amount of animals on earth could never fit in heaven. Of course they could. There's 1 million heavens. And
what?
Yeah, and there's enough space for even 1 billion more animals. So,
well, then what are they all doing up there? Are squirrels just chasing each other?
Who knows?
Is there just an army of squirrels?
No, not necessarily. Who knows?
Is there is there a section of heaven that just has, 3 trillion snakes in it, just all slithering on top of each other?
We don't know.
I want to make sure I don't go to that heaven.
We don't know. You'll go to the heaven that is heavenly for you.
It won't be the snake one.
Okay.
I'll go to the one with the
There's
puppies.
People who love
all the dogs that died young.
And it's okay. So you're talking about segregation. So
that's what I don't.
There won't be a snake heaven. There won't be a kitty heaven. There's going to be heavens, massive, infinite space.
So you're telling me I'm going to be in heaven and be like, I'm on a beach, sipping on my Shirley Temple.
If that's what you want.
And then there's just a snake that rolls up.
Not if that's not heavenly for you. But if you had a snake farm, or if you had a snake pet and it was your best friend all your life, of course your snake will be there. I
think you could probably get like a spiritual pet.
Well, who's to say that animals on Earth are not spiritual? And that's our show.
All right. Well, we are wrapping up for the day. I still have yet to edit yesterday's. So, who knows? Maybe we're just going to keep recording.
This isn't a beta. This is a, what's the word when it's like early.
It's beta testing.
The numbers are wrong, like the timing, because how long did we talk in the beginning of nothing? But that's okay. That's okay.
I'll probably leave it all in.
That's okay.
So when someone looks back 5 years from now, they're like, oh my God.
That's how you started.
Look how attractive Spencer was. To think he's still that attractive 5 years later.
Yeah. So signing off.
All right, y'all, and just we should have like an ending thing. Remember,
we should.
If you don't subscribe, you probably go to hell. Peace.